just wanted to make mention of that.
All right, thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Okay, we've got some community events listed on your bulletins on the table. January 30th through February the 6th, there's going to be exhibits at the Leland Gallery at Georgia College. It's the Monuments Project. Also on February the 6th through the 27th, John Mahler Art Center will be hosting exhibits from Gracewood and My Abstract City. First Friday's coming up. There'll be next Friday, February the 7th. There'll be flannel and food trucks, looks like the theme. That will be 5 to 9 p.m. for First Friday. And then on February the 14th, the Karen Morgan Comedy Show will be at the New Day USA Center for Leadership, 7 p.m. on the 14th. That's Friday after next. And then the 21st through the 22nd is the GCSU. Yeah, we've got some inverted letters. Homecoming and Alumni Weekend. Wendell, can you tell us something about that?
Well, big crowd, a lot of y'all will be there, and start on, I think we got something on Friday night, we have this massive tailgate on Saturday, and then we play that afternoon, a lot of fun. We'll have about 3,000 or 4,000 people in there. It's a big crowd, a lot of fun. All
right, excellent. Show of hands, who are GCSU alumni in the room today?
I like it.
Yes.
Thank you, you did my job for me there.
Okay, and then are there any other announcements from anyone regarding community or anything else? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody. I know our snow game we had a game the other night. Stephanie was there, Mark was there, but on the teddy bear toss. It was outstanding. It was a snow makeup game, so we didn't have many people there. But we probably had about 300 or 400 bears get tossed out on the floor. We'll take those bears or give them to social services, fire department, police department, when kids need them. And I just wanted to try it. We will grow this thing exponentially. It'll be, I'll get the churches involved, that type of thing. We just had a bad weather day, but thank you. It was a lot of fun. Stephanie was there, Mark was there, and a lot of people got excited about it, but we'll really grow that thing.
What a great program. Please count Rotary in next year.
Yeah, we will, man. We'll get the Exchange Club. I want to just kind of get it going this year. Second thing, I want to, and we're not doing $50. I should have as much as I'm talking, but I want to give a shout out to happy birthday for Frank Paul right here today. They're 42.
All right, thank you for that, Wendell, and happy birthday to you, Frank. All right, and then just a quick overview of some dates coming up. Next Wednesday, February the 5th is breakfast at Bojangles Makeup Day, 7:30 a.m. And then a reminder, next Thursday, our district governor, Todd Friesman, will be here for his annual visit. So please make every effort to come and remind your fellow Rotarian Club members to be here also. Our area governor, Taylor Everett, will be joining him to introduce. And we just would like to have everyone here to support his visit and hear what the things he's got to say about what's going on in the district. All right, with today being the final meeting in the month of January, and January being the vocational service month for Rotary International, we've got 2 final classification talks that we want to present very quickly. And that will complete our goal of spotlighting 5 members for this year so far. All right, we're going to start with Mr. Mark Daler. Please come forward and tell us about your profession as an attorney. Everybody welcome Mark.
So the key point here is this is supposed to be quick. Okay, so I will do that. Last year marked 40 years as a lawyer, and that comes after 5 years as an infantry officer. Now, you might think that those have nothing to do with each other, but they have a lot to do with each other. Moving a whole bunch of things from one place to another in a certain amount of time to get a certain mission done. And that's how I kind of looked at law practice. I also want to apologize for channeling my inner Bill Jones here today. I want to be like Bill when I grow up. So that's why I got the uniform right. My 40 years as a lawyer has truly been diverse beyond anything I would have imagined as a law student. I've been extraordinarily lucky, and I think that diversity has made me a wealthy soul. And by that, I mean, I started pretty normally. I started at a mid to large size firm downtown Atlanta, where all I did was defend doctors and hospitals in medical malpractice cases. I actually went to the dark side after that, and actually sued doctors and hospitals in medical malpractice cases. At the time, I was one of the few lawyers in Georgia who tried cases to a jury, both in the defense of doctors and hospitals and on the plaintiff side of doctors and hospitals. It's made me very interested in medical services, particularly for me and my family. And I have a good basis for kind of researching things like that and trying to help folks in those in those ways. My law practice really did diversify. I handled stock fraud cases. I've tried um, car wrecks, and I stopped doing that when Kathy and I moved to Macon, which was about, I guess, about 7 years ago, simply because Macon had such had a mature legal community. I mean, there was really just no way to kind of enter a community as a new lawyer in town with as many lawyers as there are in Macon. And so I shifted my practice then to more alternate dispute resolution. I'm a mediator and have been since the 1990s, an arbitrator for about the last 10 years, and take on court-appointed special master assignments. Those are kind of the most fun because they're really, really diverse. The judge will call you up and say, "Hey, I've got this couple that's trying to get a divorce, but everything depends on getting the home sold. And believe it or not, they're having trouble selling the house. Well, it's because one wants to do it for one thing and one wants to do it for another thing. And he says, he or she says, I need you to come in and sell the house or some project like that." And I find those to be extraordinarily interesting. And that's all I pretty much do now: court-appointed special master assignments and arbitrations and mediations. On the community service side, I've always been involved in community projects. I served on the USO board of Georgia for well over a decade. I was a director and one night a week at a shelter for women with children in my hometown of Decatur. I was the chair of the DeKalb Rape Crisis Center for 2 years and served on that board for about 12. When we moved to Towns County, one of the pastors came to me and says, we got a problem in town. Our churches have food pantries. Our churches have clothing closets. And we all have, there was about between 15 and 20 churches that did these kinds of things in the community, but they didn't have, it was not efficient, because if they could pool their resources in our county, we have sole county commissioner. He said to me, he says, you will never get all these churches to work together on a project like that. And I did. I formed the Towns County Cooperative Ministries, which was a takeoff of some things we'd done in DeKalb County. And we actually put together one sole location for food distribution that worked out like a charm. And the last time I checked, it was still going. I started the 501c3, which if anybody has ever done that, that's a total pain in the rear. I don't recommend it. It's actually easier now. They've streamlined that process. But I've done these kinds of things in every community I've ever lived in. It's part of what makes me tick. It's part of what makes me feel good about myself and my community. And so that, and for the 10 years leading up to the time we moved here, I had also taught at the college level 1 to 2 law related courses a year at either Young Harris College or at Mercer University. Everything from Southern politics, and that's probably, as Hugh Thompson knows, another one of my passions is statewide politics here in Georgia. Worked on and helped run a number of campaigns. Not my wife's. She was smarter than that. She had true professional help, So that's who I am. That's what I've done for the last 40 years.
Right. Stephanie Johnson, you tell us about your
So I am not quite as interesting as Mark is, but I'll start a little bit background. My name is Stephanie Johnson. For those of you that do not know who I am, I was born and raised in what is called the friendliest town in Georgia, Wrightsville, Georgia, very small town. I moved to Milledgeville in 1998 to go to Georgia College, where I was a Delta Zeta, enjoyed my college years here, graduated in December of 2001 with a BBA in business management. I started then that next spring, my, I guess you could say, working career. Helped to open the Ritz-Carlton Lodge, Reynolds Plantation that spring. I was their concierge. Did that for about a year. It was fun. It was interesting. Met a lot of really cool people. Did that for about a year and then went into their sales and marketing department. So I was there for the rest of my time. 2006, I had my first daughter, Sarah, and decided that that was a pretty long commute. Didn't want to drive out to Lake Oconee every day anymore. Wanted to be a little bit closer to home. So I took a job at the company my husband was working for, which was a computer networking company here in town. Fast forward a couple more years, had my second daughter in 2009, and now I am at Wells Fargo Advisors. I've been here 10 years now. Started out as what they call a client associate, which is basically just an assistant, and worked with Bruce Vaughn and Teresa Dyer. Quickly learned that I wanted to get registered and licensed. So I did that. I'm now licensed in 22 states with clients in all of them. And a couple of years after that, Bruce and Teresa asked that I become their business partner. So I decided to do that, join their team, and now we are the Vaughn, Dyer, and Johnson Wealth Management Group of Wells Fargo Advisors. So I love what I do. It's important to us to help our clients achieve their financial goals through wealth accumulation and preservation. Obviously, we're financial advisors. That's what we do. We strive to build meaningful relationships with our clients, with their families. We like to learn who they are, you know, what interests them, what businesses they have, you know, all aspects of their life. We find that this helps us to, allows us to create a more effective and long-term, long-lasting plan. So that's what I do in a nutshell. So today we have Jeff Jones, Brighter Days Ministries. They are a local nonprofit organization that really just helps the community with a variety of needs. He was just telling me he's building ramps and doing all of those kind of things, not just here in Baldwin County, but in the surrounding counties that has a need. He also went to North Carolina, helped a lot of people up there in North Carolina with, you know, once they were devastated with the hurricane floods and all of that. He'll be going in here soon. So please welcome Jeff Young.
Thank y'all. All right, let me see. Let me back out of here. Escape. That what you want me to do? Here we go. All right, give me one more. What we got here? I'm better at operating screw guns and hammers and computers. That it?
There we go.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Thank y'all for let me come and speak to y'all today. I'm Jeff Yeomans. I know some of y'all in the crowd, some of you don't. But about a year or so ago, started a nonprofit. It's a 501c3, and the process is a lot easier today. I've heard a lot of horror stories, but ours wasn't that bad. We basically go out in the community, do a lot of work with volunteers. We coordinate volunteers. We do a lot of different things for elderly people, widows, single moms, battered moms. We basically go and meet the needs of people who need a hand up more than a handout. There's a lot of people in our community that have kind of slid through the cracks for various reasons. And we go into their homes. We don't do remodeling type work. This is probably one of the main things we do. But we go in and meet emergency needs. And if they need a wheelchair ramp, if their floor is falling in, if they have water coming in their roof, if they've kind of been forgotten, no family members. There's a lot of widows and widowers in our community that we don't see, that need a hand. And that's one of the many things that we do. I just want to show you a couple of people. This right here is a lady named Miss Ethel Pearl. I actually met her by taking her a Thanksgiving turkey basket, and she wanted me to leave it on her porch. She didn't want me to take it inside her house. And I said, well, let me take it in your house for you. And I carried it. I had to talk her to let me in her house. Her door of her house was completely falling off. I went inside. She didn't have a refrigerator. The freezer that was torn up, and it was cold in the bottom of the freezer. So the way we got into her life was just by saying, hey, you need a refrigerator for this turkey we just brought you. As I got to know her, I left in, went and got a refrigerator that someone had donated. This is part of the inside of her trailer. Come to find out, Ethel Pearl, she's an 80-year-old widow. She has two 60-year-old mentally handicapped sons. They have been living in this trailer for over 2.5 years with no water at all. That's her kitchen, the before and the after. She didn't even have a sink. Somebody had come in years ago to fix the sink, and that was the condition that she was living in. And through some volunteers and all donated materials, we were able to restore her kitchen. Wash machine, dryer, didn't have that. Electrical was in bad shape. Wound up changing the electrical panel. That's one of her bathrooms right there. That's exactly what it looked like. Here's her front door. Front door was held on with just a couple of screws. But we came in, and she actually, when we got there and got her the refrigerator and sat down in her living room talking to her, she said, I've been praying that God would send somebody to help us. And here y'all are. And it broke our hearts, but we were grateful to be there. Her porch, I mean, she couldn't hardly walk up. The before picture, that was the raggedy porch. It was coming off of the trailer. This is a porch and a ramp that some of the folks, sorry, Bill, from Century Bank helped build. Some of the Brian Robinson and a lot of them got out there and helped. But all this work was done by volunteers, and it completely changed her world. Actually, she's still part of our ongoing family. We're doing more repairs for her as time goes on. And part of what we're doing is come in to help them, but then not to leave them. We try to establish a relationship, connect them with services if we can to help them out. Another example is this is Ray. Ray has severe diabetes, actually lost his leg, was in the hospital for 6, 8, 9 months, got back home. Somebody had went in his house and was going to fix a leak in the wall and completely tore out his kitchen and left his house like that. Mark Evans donated some cabinets. Different companies donated sinks and different materials. So we were able to go in there and restore his kitchen, make it handicap accessible for him. We fixed his bathroom floor. Cool thing is we're doing a lot of work with Georgia College, with the fraternities, ATO fraternity, the Kappa Sigs. They've come in and helped, and we have community work days. They come out there, and it was really a blessing for all of us. Ray was having to go outside his house in the wheelchair to the back of the house to get his wash machine and dryer. We removed it and put it inside the house so that he could get to it. Put him a ramp on the back of his house, and he's just another one of the, the great folks that we've been able to help. This guy here, I don't know how many of y'all go to Ace Hardware downtown. This is Raleigh. Raleigh's 19 years old now. He works at Ace Hardware downtown. Somebody told me about him and told me that his dad had like 15 stents in his heart through time, and his mom had 2 strokes, and they had a floor that was falling in. If you can see, that's Raleigh. That's what their floor in one of their bedrooms looked like once we tore it out. It was completely rotten. we went in there with no money, and it was very interesting. The first day I was there tearing it out, this man come walking in, and he said, "How are y'all going to pay for this?" And I was like, "Look, I don't know how we're going to pay for it, but God's going to make a way, and we're going to see him work." That man left. In about 30 minutes, he called me back. He said, "I'm going to write you a check for $500 to get you started." And then before long, he told his church in Haddock, they partnered alongside of us, and then Griffin Lumber donated a bunch of material. So we were able to restore 2 bedrooms, get the floor brought back up. We replaced floor joists, seals, sheetrock. This wound up being the before and after of her bedroom. And the bathroom right here, if you can see, there's probably but about 18 inches in between the toilet and the sink. Had a 24-inch door. We were able to completely open the bathroom up, put a 36-inch door on there, a shower, gave them a bench that she's able to get in there and take a bath of decency, and just made it handicap accessible for her. And we did all this at no charge. Nobody that we've worked on have we went in looking for a check. It's all been out of the goodness of people's hearts. Just, I think doing what Christ wanted us to do. I think sometimes we get caught up on faith, and we got to beat people in the head with the Bible and, let them know you're going to hell if you don't straighten your life out. I think Jesus spent more time reaching people where they are and just loving on them and lifting them up. And that's kind of what we do. So we also, we got a house of hope, a home of hope. A lady donated a house to us. We completely restored it, went all the way through it. We now have a man who lost his house in a fire. He's living there while his home is hopefully being rebuilt. And this house allows us to give people temporary shelter for 6, 8, 9 months while we're trying to help them transition to wherever they're going. So it's pretty cool watching all this going and watching all the people that volunteer with us. We have a quote unquote headquarters office that is out at Central State Hospital. Mr. Bill Jones helped us out with that and a lot of stuff. We're currently trying to restore the rooms in it. We've got a community room open, which has AA meetings, NACA, Celebrate Recovery, starting up soon. We've got big plans for this. We've got a community washroom that we're going to open up. We're going to have a food pantry, of course, working in conjunction with the Charred Ray and working at different times from then. But we're going to offer a lot more services once we get all that going. One of the other big parts that we really didn't realize was so big is in the back, we're able to keep furniture, refrigerators and stoves and dinner tables and sofa. We try to keep 2 households of furniture on hand at all time. And we've had so many fires here lately. And we've been shocked at how many people we've had to just help out. And it means a lot to them. You should see the tears in their eyes when they have nothing, and us and some college kids come rolling in, and we're able to give them couch recliners, coffee tables, refrigerators, dinner tables, beds, dressers, toys, food in their refrigerator. And we do it in a matter of a couple of hours and tell them, God did this. We didn't do it. Don't thank us. Thank him. Remember that he gave you this. And we leave. So in a matter of 2 hours, they have everything. And that's been a blessing. Wash machine, dryers, all that good stuff. Just a few things from last year. Like I said, this is our first year of getting rolling. We did work in 72 different homes. We built 33 porches and ramps that were completed. Our economic impact in the community, donations and services and volunteer hours, probably low, $560,000, which is pretty good. Hurricane relief, the hurricanes blowed through. It started out as how can we help the surrounding communities? So we started doing work in Glasscock and different areas of Augusta and carrying them foods. The next thing we know, Curtis Cox got involved. Some other people got involved. We headed down to Florida the day after Milton hit, dropped off 33 generators, gas. I mean, we carried a caravan of 6 trucks and trailers down there. And we've been going to North Carolina. Just in about 6 different trips, we've had and distributed over $210,000 worth of materials to those areas here in Georgia, Florida, and North Carolina. Like she said, we're headed back to North Carolina with about 20 to 25 people, February 20th through 24th, working in Bat Cave, which is kind of on the outside of Chimney Rock, kind of an area that's kind of been forgotten because it's not Asheville and all that good stuff. But look, thank y'all for letting me come. We do a lot of different things. I'm all over the place. So any questions you got that I can help you with, we have stories. There's ways of participating. The biggest way that y'all could probably help, if anybody wants to, is to either give of their time to volunteer. I've got a bulletin on the tables, the brochure y'all can look at. We've got a Facebook page. We've got a website. You can volunteer there, or if you can give monetarily. We can use that to meet the needs of our community. Nobody gets paid. All of it's for free. I ain't made a dime since 2022. But the good Lord's kept me doing what I'm doing. My house is paid for and the lights are still on. So I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, any support that y'all could give, we would love to have y'all participate. You'll be hearing more about us. We're doing a lot of stuff. We're trying to, you mentioned about working with different churches and in the community. Look, sadly, that's a dysfunction. We like to form our own little church, and this is my church, and don't mess with my church. And our churches don't work together as well as they should, and some organizations. But in the future, we want to kind of get that where we work together. We've got a program that we're going to try to implement and get the churches involved in, to where we can assess needs of what somebody needs, and also, sadly, see the people who are church jumping and community jumping, that hitting this one up for money and then going over there and hitting this one up for money for the same thing. Sadly, that's a part of society. But the more coordinated we are and the more we work together, the more we can get done. But anyway, that's it. Questions? Anybody?
Jeff, thank you. Incredible. Were you in construction prior to your career? Or
Yes, sir.
And that what got you going on to this?
I was, well, for about 16 years, I worked at Bacon Chevrolet. I was the parts manager there. When Hunter sold the dealership, I went to work for my brother. He owns an industrial construction company. So I did steel fabrication and erecting. Did that for about 16 years too. Me and my wife had planned that once our kids got old enough and got out of the house, we were going to do something called Mercy Ship, which is a ship that sails around the Horn of Africa. She was an RN. That was our plans. She got sick. She struggled with various diseases and problems for about 10 years. And she finally passed in the summer of 2022. And when she passed, it was, what I do now, so I gave it a few months, and in October of 2022, I handed in my notice. I called it unemploying myself. I unemployed myself to find out where the good Lord wanted me to be, and just started helping folks, and it just developed and started rolling, and here we are today.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Jeff, when you were talking earlier about your new facility at the State Hospital campus, did you say you had storage room for donations of things that you might need for people to rebuild off of?
Yes, ma'am.
Furniture in good condition and those
Yes.
things?
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so we try to keep 2 households of furniture available. And we keep everything: washers, dryers, refrigerators, sofas, recliners. We have a lift chair program. We've got like 6 lift chairs, electric lift chairs, that we work with the hospice companies and give them for patients to use, because lift chairs are expensive, and we let them use them for the season that they need them, and then they give them back to us. We clean them up and kind of keep them out. We try not to become a clearinghouse of furniture, because people will definitely donate plenty of furniture and clothing. But sometimes it's not the furniture and clothing you need. Even with the stuff for the hurricane relief, it was shocking how many people wanted to donate food that they cleaned out of their pantry. And, that's not what we really need to do. But yeah, no, we keep furniture, bedding, stuff, twin beds, queen beds, king size beds. Like right now, we need some more beds. We need some more washing machines. We could use another refrigerator, but we, and I tell people, I may have to tell you that we don't have room because we don't want to just stockpile this stuff. We try to keep it organized but it's been a pretty good thing. So yeah, it's just kind of hit or miss. If somebody has something willing to donate, just reach out. And if we have a need, we have a need. But right now, washing machines are something that we definitely need, in beds, queen, twin, frames, and dressers.
That was my next question. What were some of the most needed, most
Those
requested
are
items?
probably the needed things right now. Yes, ma'am.
Get most of your leads from help with churches or just from your state or?
I think it's good Lord above. He just sends them our way. It's crazy, Miss Terry. I've actually had somebody call a few months back and he's like, I got a bed and a dresser and I'm trying to think what else it was. And I was like, okay, I'm finishing up a wheelchair ramp. I'll come over there and get it. I went and picked it up. And as soon as I picked it up, phone rang and it was like, hey, I got a man over here that needs a bed and a dresser, and I just went straight and went about 4 or 5 blocks over into the neighborhood over there on West End and dropped it off. But yeah, it's all been they just reach out. I was always in industrial construction, type A, very organized, wanted everything, for the project there that day. So we weren't running back to the shop. Now I'm having to be way more off the cuff, type B type guy, fly by the seat of my britches, which is a change, but God shows me every day how real he is. And it's a beautiful thing seeing God do real things. Yeah, it's just pops up. Anybody else? All right. Thank y'all.
It's part of our Jill's Books collection at Twin Lakes Library. We donate books every year, one a month, to the library to support childhood literacy programming in the community. And so this will be part of the permanent collection. And that's a cheaper big gift for you as well. Okay. I'm going to get a picture of you, okay?
Okay. Thank you. Thank y'all for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you guests for coming today. Ben English, we appreciate your visit. We look forward to your program coming up soon. Cece, I see you over there. Thanks again for coming by and visiting also. Good to see you again. Thanks all of you, and for the ones attending via Zoom today, thank you for joining us. And just a reminder, next week's program is our district governor's visit, so please plan to come and meet Todd Friesman and say hi to our area governor, Taylor Everett. He's on his way out, so it'll be one of the last chances to see him and get to visit with him. And thanks again for coming today. This meeting is adjourned.
Our last